Close your eyes. It'll be worth it.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Remember what I taught you.
What's going on, guys? Bart here with Tully Television. Want to thank all of you for stopping by, liking, subscribing, all that beautiful YouTube stuff. Today, we're getting into The Last of Us, Episode 5. Feel Her Love is the title of this episode. This episode, I have to really admit how much Ellie has become to annoy me in the last few weeks of this show, the last few episodes of this show. I get where she's coming from with a lot of stuff, but she seemed a little bit more capable in the game as opposed to this particular version of her in the game, in the show. Like even last week, even though I thought like her singing to Dina was cute and stuff, you know, you're going into a music store, you're banging on drums, you're singing "Take on Me" with a wide open area where acoustics can spread out and cordyceps, the clickers can hear you, enemies can hear you. I took the sweetness of that scene and bypassed even that because I thought it was like a sweet little interaction between them two. But it really just seems they kind of really uh, drive home a little bit more that Dina seems to be more of the brains of the operation, and Ellie is kind of more. I hate even saying the muscle because without a gun or a knife or some sort of weapon, and who's she really taking out in a hand-to-hand combat situation? Maybe some people, but this she's 100 pounds wet. You know what I mean? Her only tool is the fact that she is immune. Yes, they should be sending her on reconnaissance missions or something like that. Not, like I don't know, man. She just is really someone who has just begun to annoy me. She's just really unattentive to her surroundings and unattentive to people's body language and stuff around her too. The way she interacts with people, even like last week, dropping the tank lid, making all that noise and stuff. It's just. But this episode opens up with the Wolf base at the hospital, right? And at the leader, one of the leaders asking like the general or captain why they closed the basement, the only basement uh, door there that allows them access in and out of the basement. And it seems like initially when the crew went down there, the squad went down there, there was nothing, no cordyceps, not even a rat. Oh, I wonder if they mean the Rat King. Oh, is there any strength for the Rat King? I don't know. Perhaps. We'll see that in the next couple episodes. There's only 2 more episodes to this series. And when they went deeper into the basement, one of the guys was having a hard time breathing. This was one of the first spots in this particular area where a lot of patients that were sick or infected were there. It's one of the oldest sites since the infection that has just a lot of these spores just in certain areas of the basement. It gets just getting spread out, right? And they wound up having to lock the basement up because when the squad got to a certain point there, they had to stay there because they were already infected. And it just happens to be that the captain who sent the squad in, the leader of that squad, was her son. So initially, when she was being asked why she did this, and realizing now that her son was in there and had to lock him in. Excuse me. Most likely she's telling the truth of why they had to do that. And that's where they end with that. Dina, it picks up in the theater now. Dina's trying to angulate. I know how to talk. Do you? And Ellie comes in talking about a generator downstairs. Natural gas, baby. I'm going to be a daddy. And she asks Dina if she wants to help. And Dina's like, no, I got it. Initially, Ellie's like, what? Because I'm stupid? I'm a dummy? And Dina laughs, and it's kind of like, not that you're a dummy, but you just... Until finally Ellie admits that she's not good at math. And then why the... It's just like... It's almost like you purposely being an airhead. And I don't know if this is just... I don't know. I can chalk it off to her being, when the series first started, 14, being arrogant and you know it all. But every time, because even Dina said in this episode, at some point, like, you always resort to shooting, and sometimes that can't. It has to be the last resort, or even not an option at all. And Ellie took a little offense to it, but Dina's like, I want to get home. You know, like when they finally snuck into the base, it was almost Dina saying, like, I want to go home. Maybe you want to die, but I actually want to go home and have this baby and live my life. And she tried to say that as much nicely as possible, which is kind of like letting Ellie know that there's a lot of times she's either blissfully unaware of how she comes across to people, or she really doesn't care about anyone else around her, only about her plan, her goals. You know what I mean? Whether she's looking for revenge for a proper reason or not in this particular mission, it seems like Ellie has always been like that. So there's some self-awareness to this plan, even when they see some scars that were executed on the streets. It's finally realizing that how overwhelming this is for two people. And I'll even just say as men, right? Forget about the sexuality of the character. Forget about the size of the character, the gender, the biology of the character. Look at the size of the wolf group. Look at the size, because we see, even in here, the group of scars. We see the size of these groups and what they're capable and willing to do to each other in the area. What are they going to do against two people from the outside? Whether it's two 6'7" men that were Mr. Universe Arnold Schwarzeneggers or not, or 5' nothing women, two people cannot go against two separate groups that are willing to be so violent with each other. You know what I mean? Taking out children. So if you're taking out children, you can take out anybody. You know what I mean? Dina kind of gets into her origin a little bit, because at one point Ellie asks her, does she want to go back home? And she explains how she used to bust her mother's balls to go out and play. I want to go out and play at 8 years old. And finally she did. And some drifter, some wanderer came and wound up killing her mother and her sister while they were in a cabin in Santa Fe. And she told Ellie that she killed that man, like she shot him. And she explained to her whether he watched me do that to my mother and sister, whether I seen it or not, I was going to go hunting him down regardless. So, no, I'm not going back home, right? So they continue. Dina does seem to be able to be the one to tell Ellie how she's a little bit rash and emotional and that maybe she's making the wrong choice. Like, let's talk out loud, you know what I mean? And see how this sounds. And she seems to be the only one to really tell Ellie that she's a fucking idiot sometimes. Um, Dina gets spooked where they're at because now they see some of those smart clickers that we've seen from episode 1 or 2, and now they're surrounded by a bunch of them. Okay, Dina has to go into this electrical cage thing, right, to try to barricade herself there, as Ellie is trying to take some of these other ones out because she's immune and can be bitten and scratched without a problem. But it becomes so overwhelming that it looks like Ellie and Dina are going to get Minecrafted, but they're saved by Jesse, Captain Wyoming himself. And he comes and saves them. He explains to them Tommy and him left the day after they did to follow them, to keep an eye on them, you know. And Ellie, again, so emboldened. Oh, we had it. Oh, really? You had it? You had it? The person covered in like a group of clickers and the mother of my child. I don't even know if he knows she's pregnant, but my ex over there almost. You had it? I don't think so. Until Ellie was like, yeah, we didn't have it or whatever. You know, so it's like even the arrogance still of this character to even be mad when someone saves her is kind of annoying. So finally, the prison. Yeah. So Tommy's there. So eventually, they get out of there and they try to, like they escape the hospital, right? And they wind up getting chased by the wolves into this park. But there they come across a group of scars that are ready to kill, I guess, a member of the wolves, right? And it hits the fan because they wind up gutting him. We kind of see the leader of, or at least one leader of these scars, excuse me, and we see how no one is innocent in times like this because they wind up gutting him. They were so distracted by this that Dina winds up getting hit in the leg with an arrow by a Scar patrolling, and Jesse winds up taking Dina with him as Ellie separates to have the Scars chase her. Um, on a side note, Jesse's not very happy with Ellie because at some point Ellie tries to say something, and it's the first time you kind of see Jesse really like, does it look like I want to fucking hear from you? Like, and it kind of is so abrupt that I kind of was like, oh, you know what I mean? Like, oh, he's fucking pissed, you know. So after they get separated, Ellie, the way Ellie goes, she's back at the hospital now, and she comes across Nora, one of the group members who killed Joel, or at least with Abby until she took out Joel, and she tracks Nora down to the basement, and we see how infected this area is. It's just open spores floating. There's a couple of people separated um, in separate areas that are like kind of just infused into the walls and into the fungus that's surrounding them. And she finally comes across Nora, and Nora's like, "Oh, you killed us both, you idiot!" And she's like, "Oh, did I? Did I kill us both?" And Nora realizes that who this is, and she was like, "You don't know what Joel did. He took everyone out at the hospital. Killed their father, right? You know, shot him right in the head." And Ellie, finally, something a theory that we've all had since the beginning of this season. she turns around and she's like, I know. I know he did all that. Okay. Ellie, that's why it's so frustrating this season to see Ellie so stupid sometimes in this season when she's not a stupid character. You know what I mean? She may be a boring character in some regards, but she was never written to be a stupid character. Not at least in the first, not at least not in the games, right? Maybe she's emotional about what happened and the guilt she carries about being immune, but she was never really written to be a stupid character. Bella Ramsey's version of Ellie seems to be a very stupid character in some regards. Like purposely stupid. I don't know why, like blissfully ignorant about things that you're not even really putting any effort into thinking about. And so Nora finally realizing that she's looking for, where's Abby? Where's Abby? I'm not telling you. And Ellie just keeps hitting her with this lead pipe until finally, after a couple of hits, we jump to her waking up out of bed, Ellie, and seeing Joel. And then that's where it cuts for the episode. Next episode is probably going to be the flashback episode, primarily her remembering Joel and things they did. There's this space rocket scene somewhere where they're able to just kind of sit in a space rocket, right? It seems like that next episode is going to be that. And then the last episode, episode 7, is whether we're going to get Abby or not. And the revenge. A big surprise to me is that in the game you got a lot of Abby, right? In this season you don't get Abby at all outside of the second, like after what happened in episode 2, it's already going to be a month in our time by the time the next episode comes where you actually see her on screen. And that next episode, yeah, so it's going to be over a month since you actually seen the character Abby and what she's up to, whereas in the game you got to see what she was up to and play as her. I don't know why they're switching that up, but that is the review. That's some of my thoughts on this episode and on the show. Let me know down below, guys, what you've been thinking of this series. I had some decent hopes for this season because the first season was, in my opinion, good. You know, I don't know. The second season's just really killed it for me. I like Dina. I like some of the cinematography. I even like Jesse. I like Tommy. Ellie, the person who was supposed to like, not a big fan of her. I just think she's too rash, too emotional, and purposely too ignorant to really be counted on as a leader of any sorts. Good foot soldier, good grunt work, but someone that we should be following, I don't know. I'd rather be following Dina. Her brain, her brains are her biggest asset. But I digress. That's my thoughts. And until next time, peace, Snickums.